There she is. West Tower observation post. You're home for the next 365 days. There is no outside communication here.
What's that on the other side?
That is East Tower. Contact with the other side is strictly forbidden.
We just saw the Gorge. And unlike most popular people's thinking, it is not Mark's rendition of the last buffet he went to. It is actually a movie starring...
Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy.
There you go.
Now, who's Miles Teller?
He's Captain Fantastic from Van Borstek.
The Fantastic Four, that was the 2015 one.
Yeah, the horrible one.
But he was the guy in Maverick.
Yeah. He was,
all the way through the movie, I'm thinking, where do I know him
He
from?
was Goose's son, yeah. Now, this takes place they're both snipers. They're both professional soldier hitmen snipers.
Like mercenaries.
Mercenaries. And they both get stationed at this thing called a gorge, which is 2 towers over top of this gorge. They're not told anything about it. They're just sent there, and you stay there a year.
They're on
opposite sides.
One is like the Russian side, and the other one is our side.
Yeah.
And they don't know where in the world this is. They're just blindfold taken to this place, and they're replace the guy who's there, and they install themselves.
Yeah, now it's all computerized. There's mines. There's this big trench in front of them with all fog. You can't see nothing. And they're told, they said, oh, we're trying to keep people from going in. And then, no, we're trying to keep what's in the gorge coming out. And that's the movie, basically. They can see each other. They could even shoot each other if they wanted to. However, if they shoot each other, then there's nobody protecting the gorge. So I kind of wonder, this is that almighty place that they have one person guarding this whole thing.
Well, they have one person, but they have automatic machine guns, they have drones, they have mines.
Yeah, but if anything fails, there's only one person.
But the reason is that nobody, even the president of the United States and Russia, they don't even know this place exists.
Yeah. And we find out later why. We won't spoil it for you.
So this is just, we have one guy who knows, and that's his job to protect the place. That's it.
Yeah. And they see each other through the binoculars, and of course they're both attractive people. They're all alone for a year, and they start flirting with each other. And then Miles decides he's going to go there. He's going to go to the other side to see her. And at first, I'm not going to tell you how he does it, but at first he gets this rocket out to shoot. And I said, is he going to ride the rocket over to the other side? Is this what this movie's going to become? Thankfully, they didn't do that.
Okay, now without going into too much.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a romance.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not an action picture. They try and make it look like an action. It's not really an action
this
picture.
is what I'm thinking. Say, how can we have a romance that guys will watch? We're gonna need some.
Throw in zombies.
We're gonna need
a monster or something.
A hot girl. We're gonna need some intrigue, like government intrigue. There's got to be hitmen. There's got to be special ops. There's got to be rockets and zombies and horror elements. They put everything in there.
Yeah.
That a guy would want to watch.
Yes. And then
but it's a romance.
It's a true romance story. Most of this movie is them connecting in romance and falling in love. Mm-hmm. Most of it.
So you can safely say that, okay, a husband will be okay to watch this with the wife.
Yes. Now, there are long parts in this movie where the romance is happening because it's drawn out. Remember, that's the majority of this movie.
But I didn't find, it was very slow paced.
Yes, very slow paced.
But I didn't find it was drawn out.
No. It was drawn out in some places, but it wasn't to the point where I wanted to turn it off.
No. I was interested in all the way through.
And I think that's a testament to the actors in this one. Because there really wasn't a whole lot to this movie. And it's their connection and, repertoire with each other that kind of kept you going watching this. Their likability and you wanted them to get together. You wanted them to be good with each other, and you didn't want something to happen to one and the other kind of thing. And then there's this big action scene at the end.
Wait, there's the main action scene, and then there's the conclusion action scene. Which one are you talking about?
Well, at one point they end up down below. Not going to tell you how, why, or anything. And then they kind of unravel the mystery a bit down there. But then they find out the real reason they're there. And then there's another action scene at the end. Now that action scene is pretty slow. Like it's not a whole lot of action. It's a couple shots here and there and then some running. And but I'm going to myself and I'm going, well, that was kind of anticlimactic to myself. Because they were able to run and get away, but the helicopter wasn't able, you know what I mean? We got to get distance, they said.
Well, they had a head start.
It's like, well, still, I don't care how big a head start you have. You're not out running a helicopter. I mean, it's it's so funny that, you see how many times you see, what is it, that movie? The Alien movie that they were running away. She's running away from the spaceship falling. Prometheus.
Yeah.
And she's running in a straight line, and it's a narrow spaceship like this, and all she had to do was step 5 feet this way, and she would have been okay. But
well, one of them would not have survived had he not gone over the edge of a cliff, right? So the blast missed him.
Yes, because that's how blasts work. That's how nuclear blasts work. That's how fire works. That's how nuclear blast works. Tuck and roll, cover. But all in all, it's an Apple TV movie. For some reason, the Apple TV movies, other than the last one we watched with George Clooney and Brad Pitt, Wolves. Other than that one, they've been pretty okay movies.
Are they going all in for movies?
I don't know,
Apple TV?
but they're making stories as opposed to just putting out whatever they want. They're not casting stars and then put a lot of flash in it. They're making stories and then adding the stars, which makes a big difference in your enjoyability of a movie. Where I find Netflix movies are one and done, forget about it, never want to watch them again, no matter who's in it.
Oh, so you think the Apple TV movies are more quality than the Netflix movies?
Much more quality. Story driven. Now, they can be misses, but at least they're trying to tell you a story. Where Netflix movies just seem to be, okay, this is an event, and now we have all this action.
I don't know. There's been a lot of
like what?
Decent, like the one with Ryan Gosling where he's the number.
He's 6.
Yeah, that one. I forget the gray something.
The gray. Yeah.
The gray. Okay, that one was decent. It wasn't. It was as decent as this. It's better than Wolves.
Yeah, much better than Wolves. Like I said, Wolves was a miss, but I mean they have been putting out some pretty good stuff. But this movie, if you have Apple TV, is definitely worth a watch.
And I know none of you do that watch us, but if any of you happen to know anime, there was a theme in this movie that kind of stole from Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
And I was delighted because I like anime and I noticed it.
Well, good for you. That's one per ball. And what do you think, Mark? Yeah, intelligence as always. Like it's great, but I mean, but